Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Cleveland, Ohio, I give you BVO.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BVO.
What's up, guys? Chris Algieri here. Big shout out to BVO Sports TV.
Shout out to BVO Sports TV. Make sure you tune in right away. Hottest in the city, hottest in the U.S.
Shout out to the whole YTBC, and definitely shout out to BVO Boxing. Go check them out on YouTube. One of the dopest content creators.
Shout out to BVO Boxing. You know what I'm saying? Check the boy out. Check the kid out. You understand?
Yo, what's up, fam? It's Sharif One, the only one from New York City. Yo, shout out BVO Boxing. We appreciate you, everything you do for the boxing culture, for the world. Can't wait for it to be on top, man. Salute.
This is a sick Negro.
Yo, what's going on? What's going on? It's your boy BVO Sports TV. Yes, that is Pastor Ward up there. Yes, that's Pastor Ward up there. If y'all didn't know. Yeah, that's Pastor Ward. But shout out to everybody pulling up, showing love, man. Shout out to my man Rodamez, a.k.a. Puerto Rican fight fan. Tommy from the Bronx, man. Had a good show. He did a lot of lying about his Seahawks, but it is what it is. But we got a big show today. We're going to have some fun. So today, man, a lot of news came out. So one of the things that came out that was really interesting, Mudat Gassiev calls out Moses Tume and says, you know what? I'm tired of Moses saying he's the best. He has to show me he's the best. And we'll see if that fight actually happens. I would love to see it. But see, to me, Moses scares me because Moses pulled out of that Frankie Sanchez fight. And it seems like when it comes to Moses Tume, that they moving him a certain way to where I think that talk of him being the boogeyman is lies. Because if he was as good as they say, he would fight people. And he's been taking soft touches, man. Let's be honest. Dillian White was half dead. Jermaine Franklin Jr. is half dead. These are not guys who you would ever even take a second thought about that he's fighting. And for me, I'm just so tired of these hype jobs from the UK. I mean, it's like I would give anything to have another, Carl the Cobra Frotch, or to have another Ricky Hatton, God rest his soul. It's just so sad because really the UK has not done a good job of giving us fighters, man. A lot of their guys come to America and get beat dead. So it's just, for me, it's got to call what I see. But I'll say this. If Moses was to fight Mudat Gassiev, people probably haven't seen Mudat Gassiev, but Mudat Gassiev is the one that beat Pulev for the WBA regular championship, which is a title that could get you to the Usyk. I think it'd be a good fight. But that being said, we got to see if they'll make it. Another great thing that came across my desk was Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King. Yeah, you big dosser. Monday's the deadline. That guy. Tyson Fury says, that the WBC should strip. It should strip. Shoot to my man, Boxing Kangaroo. Happy New Year, my brother. Says it should strip Usyk. And you know what? I gotta say, I can't disagree. Because one thing I do remember about Tyson Fury, he did give Dillian White his title shot. Dillian White had been the interim champion for I don't know how long, but they never required Wilder to do anything as far as defending that belt. They kind of let him do what he wanted and pick whatever touch he wanted. And I just say this. I think Caballero deserves his opportunity at the title, man. It's just that simple. You see a guy like Usyk turning that fight down, turning on a worldly fight, just to go ahead and, fight Deontay Wilder. That's a money grab. I think if you're going to have the titles, man, you got to defend them. So to my brother, TD Sports. If you're going to have the titles, man, you got to defend them. And I'll just say this. A lot of these guys have shown you that they have no desire to defend these titles. Pull up, my brother. I just think it's kind of getting sad where you got a guy like Tyson Fury saying, hey, man, we going to give these guys an opportunity, to get their rightful just due. And the just do is, hey, give my man his shot at the title. I mean, you can't tell me Caballero don't deserve a shot. Caballero probably is the best heavyweight in boxing. And he hasn't got an opportunity at all. And it doesn't look like he's going to get one anytime soon. So I don't know what's going to happen in that case. What's going on, T? How you feeling, man?
What's good, BVO, man? How's everything, man? I'm doing good. You know what I'm saying?
I'm doing good. You had a fire show today, man. I really enjoyed it, man. You did a lot of capping, but I really enjoyed it, man. It was a good show today.
You know, that's what I do best. I cap. A lot of people say that all I do is I be capping. But we talked a little football today. Took a break from boxing, you know, because we're at the end of the year. And this is where the season gets good. This is where everybody tunes in and watches.
So let me ask you this, man. You know, because I'm a boxing fanatic. I'll be totally honest, man. What do you think about Muda Garcia calling out Moses Tuma? You think we'll get that fight?
Who? Which guy against Moses?
Muda Garcia is the guy that just fought Pulev for the WBA regular championship.
Yeah. Do you think we'll get that fight?
Do you think Moses Tuma will accept that fight? He's been turning down so many fights. That's what I was wondering. You think he'll accept that fight?
He wouldn't. I mean, he's still, you know, I know people putting him as a contender, but in my eyes, he's still kind of a prospect. We're still trying to learn more from him. He looks great, you know, but you know, now he moves up in talent. I mean, that'll be a good fight for him. So I wouldn't see why he would turn that fight down. Like why he wouldn't turn the fight down. Excuse me.
It's the only reason I bring that up is because we seen Frank Sanchez get the Cuban sandwich beat out of him by my guy Caballero. So you would think he would be low hanging fruit, but he didn't want that fight. So it's just, I don't know. He said, "Don't you think Usyk deserves a cherry pick?" Come on, bro. See, no one deserves a cherry pick. I don't think so. At the end of the day, Tyson Fury is right. If you're gonna have the WBC title, man, you gotta defend it. You gotta defend it. And that's the problem with the WBC, man. They don't hold nobody accountable at all. That's why people losing respect for the greatest belt there is. So what do you think? You think Usyk deserves a cherry pick, Tom?
Honestly, I don't think it's much of a cherry pick. I know it sounds like a cherry pick, but you got to think about it. The fight is going to be here in the United States. That's Usyk coming to the States. So that makes it a little bit tougher on Usyk. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know when's the last time Usyk has fought in the States. If he has, I can't.
Michael Hunter.
I can't remember. He's never fought in the U.S.?
Yeah, he's fought Michael Hunter.
Yeah. So I don't think it's a cherry pick. So I mean, I think he has the right to fight whoever he wants and take, you know, and do a voluntary, right? Fighters do that, you know, as long as he's fighting again. Now, Usyk only fought once this year.
He's been fighting once in a while.
I want to see fighters more active. Back in the day, heavyweights were fighting 3 to 4 times a year. You know, Larry Holmes fought 4 times in a year. Muhammad Ali fought 4 or 5 times in a year. And Muhammad Ali was traveling overseas and fighting 5 times a year. So, like, 1 time a year is not going to cut it for me. So if he's going to take a fight with Wilder, and let's say he wins, right? Because anything can happen in boxing. You know, I want to see him 3 months later fight somebody else.
See, my thing is this. Yes, Wilder did look better when he fought the fry cook with the surgically repaired arm.
Was it Herndon?
Herndon. He looked good when he fought the guy with the surgically repaired shoulder. He was a lot more active than he was when he fought Zhilei Zhang or when he fought Joseph Parker. I just think for me, when I look at the heavyweight division, it's like it's the one division that moves fast, where these guys actually fight each other. So for me, if I look at Usyk, his last performance versus Triple D was a lights out knockout. I'm just saying, if you're going to hold the belts, man, why not give Caballero his shot? Why does Caballero have to keep fighting these bums and not get his opportunity? That's my only question, man.
I agree with you. I think Caballero's earned his shot. He's earned his place already, you know. And he's fighting Damian Kanimba, who I've seen personally 3 times this year. He's fought 3 times. I seen him fight in Jersey twice, and then he just fought. We were at the fight in Brooklyn where he fought. And he's a decent guy. He's an undefeated Polish guy. He's going to bring a lot of people to go watch him. He's going to bring a big fan base. You know, he's got a nice jab. He's got some power. He's a little bit too stiff for me, you know, but Caballero's proved that, you know, he'll go in there and rough it up with you. He'll go to the body. You know, he's willing to take shots, to throw his shots as well. right? He did that against Zhang. You know, he got dropped, but he still went in there and got him out of there. You know, sometimes fighters get intimidated by that, or they're a little bit hesitant. You know, Cabello is a throwback fighter, man. He's the real deal. I want to see Cabello and Usyk. Like, you know, and so, like, say, I don't think this is an easy fight for him, but it's a fight that I think he should win.
So let me ask you this: when you see people kind of not speaking about the Tan Wilder, Fabio Wardley, is it because he's so limited, or is it because he makes no money for you?
Who, Wardley?
Yeah, it seems like nobody wants to fight Tan Wilder. I don't know what it is.
He said Tan Wilder. That's crazy.
That's
I don't know what it is either. I mean, I think Wardley is a competitive heavyweight. I think he's good. I don't see anything special about him. It is the heavyweight division. You know, he was losing the last fight against Parker, and Parker just got gassed late in that fight, and then, you know, Wardley came because, you know, and Wardley was losing that fight.
He'd get his ass whipped.
Yeah, and he came back. So, you know, he's got power. He's shown that he's got pop, and he's got one punch knockout power as well. So, you know, I think I don't know about the money to the table. I think the more and more you fight and the more opportunities you get, the money will come. So, and in the heavyweight division, you know, the heavyweights get paid more than everybody, you know. So if they really want to build this division, you know, and I see a comment in the chat, like, it's a different era. At the end of the day, you got to fight more to just get, you know, to get publicized more, to get your name out there, to show the world, you know, how good or, you know, not good you really are. You know what I'm saying? And activity counts. I think activity matters. You know, fighting once a year is not good. Cabello only fought once last year as well. He hasn't fought since February of 2025. That's terrible.
Yeah.
You know, that's almost a year later now, you know? So, and then before that, it was May in 2024. That's just bad. One time a year is not going to cut it. You know, so
I feel that. But let me ask you this, because this is my question about when you talk about a guy like Wardley, right? We know, we've seen Wilder, right? But people don't realize that Wilder had great instincts. What he didn't have is skill. He had great instincts, like a Rocky Marciano, where he found a way to deliver that right hand. So the vacay Bay champ Ross, appreciate everybody coming through. Shoot to the Puerto Rican Prince, man, and my man West Indian Mark. But I think the thing that get me with Fabio Wardley is, I think he's probably the worst of the new group, because I think Lawrence Okolie will beat him dead. I think Michael Hunter will beat him dead. So that's my only thing, because I just feel like. Oh, go ahead.
You see my name, right? Friendly 50. We put a friendly 50 on that. Fabio Wardley will put Lawrence Okolie straight to sleep. You are out of your mind.
You got to get off the drugs, man. I'm talking about real fights.
Get off the juice.
You on the drugs, man.
You on the juice, boy.
Have you seen?
You on
hold
the
on.
Hennessy.
So let me ask you this. From what you've seen with Lawrence Okolie, I don't know if you've seen his last fight. I don't know if you're watching. He beat that African nigga dead. And he did the same thing that Wardley does. Wardley does nothing but jab, jab, right hand, jab, jab, right hand. That's why they call him Tan Wilder. He's garbage. He's garbage. People don't realize this, but Joseph Parker, that was a crazy stoppage. That was a horrible stoppage. He wasn't hurt. He might have been tired, but they robbed Joey.
Lord,
and you know what's funny? He too classy to say something. That's all it was. Go ahead.
Lawrence Okolie is a big, gangly, cruiserweight. He's tall and gangly, uncoordinated. He would get put straight to sleep. He would get put straight to sleep. Okay? And like, even if it were to go late, even if it were to be like he had some type of boxing skills, or he finally has that jab that we never see come out instead of just grappling, even if it was the case where he went deep, we know who Fabio Wardley is. Fabio Wardley will catch a second win on him and stop him.
Smash that like button for me, y'all. Smash that like button. It's free, man. It don't cost you nothing, man.
Yeah, so
smash that like button.
So my thing is, Fabio is not the worst of the bunch. That's all I say.
I mean, I can see what you're saying about Lawrence, because I feel like Lawrence, my man Big Baby Anderson, they all kind of on the same level. But that being said,
Big Baby Anderson trash.
But that being said, let me ask you guys this: and I'm gonna start with Puerto Rican Tommy. What do you think about Deontay Wilder kind of going into this soap opera thing, where he's complaining about things that happened to him, where he's complaining about his brother, he's complaining about his ex girlfriend. He actually said, this is courtesy of Cigar Talk, that young men don't date women with kids. And it kind of makes me think, I'll just make a punch to that, and I'll just say, it kind of makes me think like, because he got played, now he want to give all this fake advice. Because I guarantee you, if you would have told Deontay Wilder 4 or 5 years ago, the girl he met at the bus station, who was already married, was gonna steal from him, he would have put hands and feet on him. So what do you think about something like that? What do you think about that, Puerto Rican Tommy?
Well, I think you're exaggerating a little bit. I think you're a little bit harsh. I think in life you live and you learn, and sometimes when a guy is in love with somebody, they don't really see the truth, and sometimes it takes it takes some time for you to see the real truth and to learn some things. With that being said, with him going out there lying and stuff, I don't know if he's necessarily lying, but I think it's a good thing to let it out. I personally don't like some of the stuff that he's saying because I don't think people out there really generally care for the guy like maybe others do. So like with him doing that, it just gives them a target to kind of hate on him some more and kind of kill his reputation a little bit more and just kill his character as a man. But as a guy in myself, man, who's close to 50 years old and, just started doing therapy myself, sometimes you need to talk it out and let these things out, and, sometimes talking is good. And, with him talking to Cigar Talk and what other platforms he on, I think that's good for his mental health. So I'm not totally against it. Like I said, you live and you learn in these situations. I personally think as far as boxing, I just don't think his mind is in it. I don't think his mind has been into boxing the last few years. I think those fights with Fury and the way he was treated in those fights by the media and just in those fights alone with, the glove situation with Fury and some other things, I think that took a toll on him mentally. And then his personal life, at the end of the day, this is a guy that went into boxing to take care of his daughter, right? And nobody, including himself, didn't think that he'd be a world champion, defended his title 10 successful times, which hasn't been done since I can't remember who was the last one to do that. It's very special. He's got a statue built in Alabama. He's the last great American world champion heavyweight, which the heavyweight division in America has been kind of dead. So I think for him, for his mental health, I have no problem with him doing that. You know what I'm saying? I wish he would not say as much as he's been saying, but I think, if he's being honest and genuine with what he's saying as far as the situation, like the situation with Telly's son, where he took care of him and how his son treated him after the fact, I think that was cold, and that was wrong, because he didn't have to be a father to that boy. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I mean, everybody has their own opinion. Me, I try to look at it, on both sides. And, I don't consider myself to be a dirtbag no matter what you say, BVO, So I think me learning myself personally, speaking to a therapist now myself, that I just started doing this, a few months ago. I think sometimes talking is good and letting it out. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think he's mentally there in the fight game. So
you know what I would say to that? I would just say this, I would say this to you, man. I wish I could do like Coach Kenny and smack you and say it's time to effing fight. Because when you go through stuff like that, you gotta be a man.
That doesn't mean you're less of a man because you want to talk it out.
I mean, but you can't disparage nobody. I mean, you gave that girl that money
and discouraging him right now, saying
that he is discouraged. He talking about his brother, who he took his woman and made sweet love to his woman. I mean, you just got to be honest, man. I think a lot of the stuff with Deontay is stuff that Deontay created. You met a woman who was already married. You thought she was gonna be Liz Taylor? I mean, come on, man. You wasn't dating Claire Huxtable. But we got my brother in the house, brother Bernard. What's going on, man? How you feeling, dog?
What's going on, good brothers? Listening to y'all have a great conversation.
Yeah, I was listening to my man TD Sports, aka Rodamez. Rodamez believes in sipping at a high level. What do you think about that?
Yo, you are wild, man. I swear to God.
So
I was just listening to y'all talk about. Now I'm just listening to y'all talk about everything, man. And I think that a lot of different opinions come about, but I do not have a problem with Deontay Wilder finally waking up and telling young men, don't date these bras that got babies if you don't have no babies. I have no problem with that. I tell my kids that don't got kids.
Yep.
What happened? It's silent. Everybody all right?
I thought it was me for a second.
Oh yeah, I thought that was me.
Oh, I did too. My bad. I hope I ain't saying that. I hope I ain't saying that offending nobody. I hope I ain't saying that.
I think that was spot on.
More.
I agree with that.
Good.
Yeah, no, you didn't offend.
Yeah, I hope I ain't offend nobody, but I don't. I think if you've raised up kids, male or female, and they don't have any babies, I think it's not even fair for the other person with kids to saddle them with kids. Don't date mine if you got kids. Mine haven't experienced that. I think the greatest thing that they can experience when they don't have kids is finding somebody who don't have kids and they doing these first things together. I just think that that's something that every young person, male or female, should think about before you involve yourself as a stepmama. Give yourself a chance to be a mama.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I just think that what Deontay Wilder is doing is weak, man. And I think it just makes us look bad because he should know this by now. This is the 40-year-old man.
What did Deontay Wilder do and say exactly?
He said to stay away from single women with kids. There are some good women with kids. I mean, I'm not saying I don't know, man. I think you can't say every woman is bad because the one you met at the bar wasn't good. And then I got people saying stuff like this.
And so let me ask, what's wrong with the blacks?
That's what you get people asking when you do that stupid stuff.
But why are we making that comfortable? Yeah, go ahead.
But what Deontay Wilder is saying is based on his own personal experience. So I'm not gonna tell him that he's wrong, or that if you're a young man, you shouldn't find somebody or build with somebody who doesn't already have kids by another man. But Deontay Wilder, I mean, he's hurt right now. I mean, he got a lot of bread. I mean, about $800,000 taken just for lust and his own stupidity. So I think he really got to sit down. I don't, like, to be honest, I don't think he should be fighting. I don't think that's what he should be doing at all. I agree with Tommy. I think he needs to go sit down and get some therapy and figure out why does he bring these certain types of individuals around him so much. I think that should be his objective more so than getting punched in the head and getting put to bed.
I just say this about Deontay Wilder. That's what you think when you hear Deontay Wilder.
Okay. He just keeps saying that this man is a hoe.
That's all you can say. Like, men don't cry about stuff like that. These are situations you created. You got to kind of like just move on. But I don't want to be too long on the soap opera Deontay Wilder's life. Let me ask you guys this. When you guys see this jam-packed card that Ring's putting on, how do you guys see it playing out? Because I think Keyshawn versus Jermaine Taylor is a 50-50 fight. What would you guys say?
I would say it's interesting, but I would say it's more like 60-40 Keyshawn. I like Keyshawn's talent more. I think he's a harder puncher. But Jermaine Ortiz came up big in certain spots in his career, but we got to see what Keyshawn looks like at 140. But still, I would favor Keyshawn in this fight, me personally.
Yeah, I think it's a I think it's a 55-45 Keyshawn. I think he's a better, I want to say a better boxer. I believe he's the bigger puncher. Now, I will say Jermaine Ortiz does have the capabilities to score the apple cart. He definitely can box. He gave Tio a lot of trouble. He gave Lomachenko a lot of trouble. He's an excellent fighter. I don't think he's a world class fighter, but I think he's an excellent fighter in his own right. And I think he can give Keyshawn some problems if Keyshawn is not 100% focused on Jermaine Ortiz. I think Jermaine Ortiz can upset him, but I think Keyshawn will pull it out. I don't know if Keyshawn will knock him out. I think Keyshawn will win this fight. I don't know if Keyshawn will knock him out. Keyshawn's talking about he's going to knock out Jermaine Ortiz. I don't know if he will, but I think he can win this fight. But I think it's a 55-45 Keyshawn favorite.
I can see that. But my whole thing is this. Do people remember that Jermaine Ortiz, and I hate to say this, but I think he might have beat the Ring Magazine champion Teofimo Lopez if he would have been more active. What would you say to that?
No, I agree. I think he gave Tio a lot of problems. A lot of people believe that he won that fight. He gave Tio problems. A lot of people believe he won the fight against Loma. Like I said, he's a good fighter. I don't think he's a world class fighter, but I think he's a good fighter. He definitely can beat Keyshawn. He had moments in the Tio fight. He had moments in the Loma fight. It's just a matter of can he do that consistently for 10, 12 rounds. Mm-hmm. I think they fight a 10-round fight. I'm not sure if it's 10 or 12. I think it's a 10-round fight. Can he do it consistently for 10 rounds and make Keyshawn keep guessing? Mm-hmm. Somehow keep Keyshawn having to figure out what he's going to do next, because Jermaine Ortiz got good footwork. He can move around the ring. He can fight on the back foot. He can fight coming forward. The one thing that I would say is I don't think Jermaine Ortiz has enough pop in his arsenal. But then again, who knows? We never seen Keyshawn really tested on the chin like that. So who knows? I mean, Jermaine Ortiz might have enough to hurt Keyshawn. We don't know. Keyshawn hasn't been tested yet. So Jermaine Ortiz could very well go out here and score the apple cart.
Yeah, speaking of that, I know my man TD, you're Puerto Rican. So when you see a guy like Jermaine Ortiz, is Jermaine Ortiz as good as we think he is, or he just one of them guys who just not good enough? What would you say? You hear me, TD?
Oh, you took.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was going to first say that it's a 12-round fight. I don't know if they're going to make an interim title or something like that, but the fight is not 10 rounds. For whatever reason, it's a 12-round fight, and none of these guys are champions. So I'm not sure what they're going to put to make it a 12-round fight. So that's one. And two, it all depends on Jermaine Ortiz, the activity. I think Keyshawn's a little bit more favorite based off the styles. I think Keyshawn's going to be really aggressive in this fight. So that's going to give Jermaine a little bit more opportunity to counter and maybe do something more. The thing I may give Jermaine Ortiz a bigger chance is that he does come in big in the fights, right? He does put on a lot of weight, after the weigh-in. So I think he's going to be in that ring like 160, probably 165 from fighting at 140. Keyshawn, this is going to be his first fight at 140. Jermaine's already been up there. Jermaine's a guy who's been familiar with missing weight too. He's, they had to postpone a fight, a cancel fight, a couple years ago because he missed weight at 135. So, but I think this is a big fight for both fighters. Obviously for Jermaine, he's on a three fight winning streak. He's trying to establish something. Some people thought he beat Teofimo. Some people thought he beat Lomachenko. Two very close fights. He fought different in both those fights. In the Teo fight, I think if you'd have had more activity, he might have got the nod. I still thought he won the fight. So it'll be interesting. But I think Keyshawn's going to go in there. I think he's going to be very aggressive, and I think he's going to make Jermaine Ortiz very uncomfortable in this fight. and I can see Keyshawn stopping Jermaine Ortiz late in this fight.
Wow, that's pretty deep. Let me go to something, and I'm gonna ask you about this, Coach, and I'm gonna go to my man Marky Dan. What do you think about Gary Antoine Russell coming out saying T.O. is his guy, and he believes T.O. is going to beat Shakur easily? What you think about that, Coach?
What's the problem with it? I think we got too many guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
I said I don't see no problem with it. I think we got too many guys who jump on bandwagons. You know, I mean, we do.
Can y'all hear Brother B?
I can hear him. Can you hear him?
You want me to go out and come back in?
No, that was just. I think Marcus was messed up. Go ahead.
Oh no, I just think that we have too many guys who want to be bandwagon hoppers. You know, how many people will go against Tank if he says something crazy publicly as compared to T.O.? Not many. How many guys will go against any of the established top guys if they said something crazy? Not many. But they want to pick and choose. I want consistency. You know, I say that about everything. You know, people say I don't hang with a snitch or a rat until a buddy is a snitch or a rat. You know, so I don't condone that. If I'm cool with you, I don't care if other people not cool with you. That's their business.
So what do you think about people calling Gary Antoine a sellout?
Have they called it to him to his face? Are they on these fake pages where they do it? I gotta see the real. If they on fake pages, then they cowards. I'm cool. I'd rather fuck with the sellout before I fuck with the cowards.
So what do you think about
90% of them ain't gonna say shit to his face.
That's a fact. So what do you think about this, Free? Because Gary Antoine kind of reiterated how close him and T.O. is. Are you shocked that he's behind T.O. in this fight? D-Free, can you hear me?
No, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked that he's behind T.O. in this fight. Antoine is looking at what he sees in the ring. He sees Shakur at times be timid when he's in there with big punchers. He sees T.O. is very athletic. He sees T.O. is a decent puncher. So he's looking at what he sees in the ring. I'm not surprised by it. I wouldn't agree with him. I think Shakur wins against T.O., but I'm not surprised by it. I mean, some people believe T.O. is going to win this fight. Some people believe Shakur is going to win this fight. We will all find out in 27 days. I mean, I'm sorry, 29 days. We will all find out.
Yeah, I think the thing that get me with it is that I'm just so shocked that people are like calling Gary Antoine a sellout, Uncle Tom. It's like anybody with eyes knows how close him and T.O. are. So I guess I just was shocked at the backlash. What about you?
I mean, how is he an Uncle Tom? I mean, he's not going back. He's not sitting there being Shakur's friend and going back and telling T.O. everything that Shakur is doing. That's what an Uncle Tom is. An Uncle Tom is somebody that's right there amongst the people and go back and tell the boss man what's going on. So how is he being an Uncle Tom? How is he being a sellout? He's not friends with Shakur. They might know each other and things like that. They've been in the gym together, but he's not friends with Shakur. So what does he owe Shakur the quote unquote loyalty to giving him the approval of winning this fight? He doesn't owe Shakur anything. He's looking at the fight and he said, my opinion is I think T.O.'s going to win.
I think they're saying that because Antoine is actually in the camp helping T.O. That's the part I think got people so mad, is that Antoine has been in the camp the whole time.
So why wasn't these same people calling Shakur a sellout when he was in the camp helping Jake Paul get ready for Tank Davis?
I don't know, Free. That's a good point.
I just want these same people to say it from their actual accounts instead of these hide behind. Tell me what verified account called him a sellout.
I just salute to my man Blaze. I just think he got a right to his opinion, but I'm just saying. But people saying it because, like I already knew, Antoine is really helping Tio. That's why I think Tio's going to win. Because from what I'm hearing, him, Gary Jr.'s in the camp, Antoine's in the camp, even Antonio's helping. So it's like when you get the Russells in there, and Tio already is athletic, he fight like a slick black. He gonna be even better when he get with them guys. What would you guys say to that?
He could be, but we got to remember those guys don't fight like Shakur. So I don't understand these people because these fighters go and train with other fighters when they get ready for fights all the time. Shakur has been in gyms with other people that was getting ready for fight. Tio has been in gyms with other people that was getting ready for fight. Boots has been in gyms with other people that get ready for fight. So because they're not going behind, they're not helping out the guy that you like, all of a sudden he's a sellout. That's the person that you like. That doesn't mean these guys are getting paid to help them get ready for a fight. They're not going to do it out of their own free will and the courtesy of just being good with them. They're getting paid to go train with them. So the same way that Shakur, Keyshawn, and Raymond Ford, all those guys were getting paid from Jake Paul to go train with him to get ready for Tank. It's the same way that the Russells are getting Tio ready to train for Shakur. This happens all the time. Jerron Booth was training with Canelo Alvarez to get ready for Bud Crawford. It happens all the time. These guys are getting paid to do this. This is not them doing it out of the kindness of their own heart. They doing it because they say, "Hey, look, can you come train with me? I'm gonna pay you a certain amount of money." They say, "Okay, cool." They don't have no ill will towards Tio. Why would they say, "No, I'm not gonna help you train"? They don't have any ill will towards Tio. Now, if it would be something if they got a beef towards Tio and he said, "Hey, can you help me train?" And they're like, "Oh, sure, yeah, I'm gonna help you train." What? I thought you were just beefing with him. Then that's when you guys have something to talk about. But they ain't got no ill will towards Tio.
I don't know. One thing that came out that's pretty interesting. I'm gonna ask you this, TD, then we go to Coach, and then we go to Mark on this. What do you think about Gary Jr. saying he's open to training Tio when he goes to 147? Is that a good, bad thing? What would you say to that, TD?
I have no problem with it. I don't see why it would be a problem. If he want to work with him, he's a trainer now. He's not gonna. He's he's still fighting too. So I don't understand that. But
why not do it now? Is it because of his brother?
Say it again.
Is it because of his brother? He gonna make him wait to 47 to train him, or what do you think? Why do you think he's making him wait?
Well, he's not going to train him at 140 if his brother's fighting at 140.
Okay, that's probably why he won't do it now. Oh, okay.
Matchup maybe at 147. If they have an established friendship, I guess. I don't see the problem with it. Why not bring him into the camp? That's on them. I just don't understand why it would be an issue. If that's what they want to do, if they want to work together, they want to work together. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to do it at 140 because that's possible opponents. I'll counter with this. If they have a good friendship, as it seems, does that mean that they won't fight at 140? Like Shakur and Keyshawn, they don't want to fight each other. Would that mean that Gary and Gary Antoine and Tio wouldn't fight each other?
No.
Antoine said Antoine said he would still kick his ass. I don't know why he said that.
I'm about to tell you that. Antoine fighting anybody. He don't care.
Yeah, and that's good because listen, at the end of the day, if you guys are really friends, then you would fight. If you don't fight each other, then you're not really friends because you figured friends want to make money together, right? So I don't understand why. We've seen it in the past. Chop Corley and freaking Bailey, they fought. They were good friends. They fought twice. You know what I'm saying? And they both said that if we're friends, we're gonna fight. If we're not friends, then I guess we're not. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm gonna look at it at another standpoint. who knows? Maybe Antoine is looking at this as an opportunity to see what Tio likes to do in the ring and say, okay, yeah, so okay, we work with you. I'm trying to fight you to get your belt as well. So now I know what you like to do in the ring. We fought. I trained with you. I know what you like to do.
Salute, thanks,
Now
thanks.
he got a head up on what Tio likes to do in the ring.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a lot of moves that are being made by these fighters that I can't rock with. But I love the fighters though, because I think they all special and they all got good talents. Richardson Hitchens, what are you doing with your career right now? Right? You only fought once in 2025, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were supposed to be on this undercard on January 31st. Gary Antoine, what's going on? Why are you not getting fights? Tio, he's finally getting a fight. He only fought once. You know what I'm saying? I believe Shakur fought once only in 2025. Maybe he fought twice.
He fought once.
He fought once. So these guys, the activity, and this is what we did. We opened up the show. We were talking about activity with the heavyweights. It's activity to all these fighters. Like one time a year is not enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Well, Antoine's not getting a fight because these guys are scared to get in the ring with him. And so he's going to end up having to fight his mandatory. And that fight was supposed to happen. I'm not sure what happened with the mandatory, but somehow that fight got pushed back because that fight was supposed to be happening. So I don't know what happened with that fight, why it got pushed back. I know why it originally got pushed back because of the whole Tank Davis situation. That's the original reason why it got pushed back. But then they were saying that it was supposed to be on the December card, and then it ended up not being on the December card. So I don't know why it got pushed back. But Antoine already came out. He said, "Man, I want to fight all of these champions. I want to unify with these guys." He asked to get to fight with Richardson Hitchens while he was live on a podcast. Richardson Hitchens told him he got to get his name up first. Well, you thought you had a fight lined up. Now you ain't got no fight lined up. Both of y'all free. Why you can't get in the ring with him now?
So what you think about this, Marcus? I mean, you a boxing historian like me. What you think about Gary Jr. saying he gonna train Tio at 147 if that's what he wants him to do? What do you think about that? Mark, can you hear me?
Hey, while Marky climbs back up the stairs, let me correct myself. Shakur fought twice. He fought in February.
Oh, he did?
And then speaking of February, remember he fought Padley. He was supposed to fight Kid Austin. And Kid Austin is another fighter that's only fought once in 2025 also.
Yeah. Shakur fought twice last year. He fought Padley.
I don't blame him though. I don't blame Kid Austin because am I wrong, Coach? I think Kid Austin won't smoke. I think it's other factors that keep him from fighting. What would you say, Coach?
Yeah, to a degree. I think Shorty is a cold-blooded fighter. I think Young Boy will fight anybody. But I think his dad is strategic. And he attempts to be strategic. And sometimes when you think about what you did in the aftermath, it might not have been the right thing to do. You got to play the game the way it's played. And he with Golden Boy. He in a situation where Golden Boy can't afford to say F him. Golden Boy ain't got too many other people. So Golden Boy can't say F you, and you kind of say I made a mistake. You can walk away from a lot of situations and they got to take you back to the board.
Let me ask you this, Coach. Do you think it's a bad thing to hear Gary Jr. talking about training Tio at 47?
I don't see how it could be a bad thing. If it's no issue with the fighters, then I don't see how. You got to remember, at one point in time, Erislandy Lara, the Charlos, and Earl Spence was all being trained by the same person, and there wasn't no problem with that.
I just think that Tio is already good, but with Gary Jr., he'll really mess some people up. That's my only thing. I'm just surprised that's the route they're gonna go. That's all. That's my only thing. I'm just surprised that's the route.
Why is that a problem?
Because you already sharpening him, so when he fight, because Tio, well, it wasn't Tio. Tio was kind of being, you know how Tio is, but Antoine made it clear that he's fighting for the belt next. Like that's what he said. He said nothing. They said you gonna fight, and he said absolutely I'm fighting Tio for the belt. So what I'm saying is, they friends, they're gonna fight, which I think is dumb. Do you think that if Tio was the win, that would affect the relationship between him and his brother? If his brother go with him up to 47, you don't think so?
No, let me tell you something. When it comes to Antoine, Gary, Tonio, and them, they brothers. They gonna ride with each other, hella high water. And there's nothing that anybody can teach you when it comes to Gary. Gary could teach a lot of stuff to Teofimo Lopez, but he'll never be able to teach him more than what his brother already knows naturally from life. They've been together their whole life. You telling me that, him being in with for a camp, and then he's not going to be in the camp against his brother, so it shouldn't make a difference.
I don't know. I was kind of surprised to hear that, man. Let me ask you this, TD, because you spoke about this before. Do you think Matias is getting a bad shape with the drug stuff because he's Puerto Rican? What do you think?
I think it's selective. I think it's selective on who's looking at it. I don't think it's whether it could be people that don't like Latinos or don't like Puerto Ricans per se because they might be a bad rap. So like let's take for example, in baseball, some Dominicans get a bad rap because they tend to pop dirty, especially in the steroid era, right? And in boxing, not related to boxing, and Mexicans, especially guys from Reynoso's camp, been popping dirt. So like you tend to see things differently depending on the person. In this case with Matias, I just think that it's a bad rap because it's selective on who you like and who you root for. So for example, the channels and the YouTube content creators I've seen hate on Matias without giving you the actual facts of the matter are people that are Devin Haney supporters and people that don't like Ryan Garcia. So they put this because the Ostering in play, and they put Matias into play because Matias was at one time said to be an opponent of Devin Haney, and apparently negotiations didn't go right, and the fight never happened. Which I know why it never happened because I spoke to some people behind the scenes about that, but a particular fan base is always going to look at it for their fighter's point of view. My point of view as a boxing fan is that I just want the truth and I just want consistency, right? Like I like Matias, and I will openly admit that I'll have a bias towards Puerto Rican fighters. But depending on the situation, who they're fighting against or what they did, I'm not going to be biased. I'm going to state the facts, and I'm going to give my opinion on who I think is going to win, who I think is right, who I think is wrong, based off of the facts, right? And of course, I'll put a little bit of opinion in there as well. But I'm not going to just cap and lie for a guy just because he's Puerto Rican. And I think you have that as far as media and content creators, that they may throw things out there because they don't like a specific guy because they're Latino or because maybe they're black or because they're white. And I just think that's wrong, right? I made a video today and I put some facts out there about Matias, and you take it as a will. I'm not going to disrespect anybody's opinion on the matter, right? And that's where it opens up as friendly, good boxing conversations like we have here on the show. I'm not here to disrespect anybody. We have fun. We may joke around, you know what I'm saying? But I just don't like the disrespect of people's opinions, and a lot of people went at this guy. I stated the facts in the matter. The facts in the matter is the New York State Athletic Commission has a threshold of 0.1. He was under that threshold, right? And there's a reason why they have a threshold because of it. I looked it up. The research says and science says that because of possible contamination. And we go on for that. I'm not going to go on and babble about it because I've been doing that a little bit too much. But the research is out there. And at the end of the day, he's not guilty. But I will say this, and this is
would you do that for a black fighter? The way you're going from a tier, would you do that same thing for a black fighter?
Absolutely. And this is what I'm going to say. And this is what I say part 2 is going to be like for a black fighter, white fighter, for anybody. The truth is the truth, bro. And I will say this is that, and this is why I brought up certain other fighters like Jaime Munguia, Alicia Baumgartner. Those are 2 fighters that also tested positive, but yet they were proved to be innocent by the WBC later on, and they proved that it was some sort of contamination. And at the end of the day, they were free to fight, and they were on probation. But there was no no outrage like you had the outrage with Matias. There was no outrage for Alicia Bumgarner, get her out the sport. Munguia, get him out the sport. We want a clean sport. There was no outrage for those two fighters as there was outrage for Matias. Alicia Bumgarner just fought a couple weeks ago, and there were people throwing videos about how good or how bad she may have looked. If you don't support the fighter because you think they're cheap, then be consistent and get them out the sport like you did with Matias. And that's all I ask for, is some sort of consistency. And that's what tells me that there is a certain bias based off of race or because of a certain fan base.
But I would say you got a big black Puerto Rican nigga who took somebody's life in the ring, and then he pops up dirty. I mean, I think it's a fair criticism.
I think it's a fair criticism as well. But he's been under VADA for a while now. This was not his first fight under VADA. So and he's been taking all sorts of tests throughout, and he never popped ever. There were people out there reporting that he popped before, which is not true. Nobody's ever provided a receipt that he popped dirty before. This was the first time, and it was inconsistent to the negative test just 7 days before, and all of a sudden a positive test, and then the next test was negative, and the following test has been negative ever since. So it's inconsistencies even with all the tests. The testing is concerned. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's where the contamination comes into play. So all I'm trying to say is that I want a clean sport just like everybody else. But the fact, you have to do your own research, and the facts are the facts. And the facts in this particular case is that he did nothing wrong. That's all.
Get your hand out of my pocket! Get your hand out of my pocket!
That's all I can say to you saying that, man. If this was a black dude, you would not be going this hard.
So Matias is not black?
Let me ask you this.
Ask the question. Is Matias black?
Can I ask Puerto Rican free question
first?
Hold on. Can I ask Puerto Rican free question? I'll answer it in 1 second.
Can you answer mine real quick? Is it yes or no?
Just remember this about me, man.
I really bury motherfuckers.
So be easy. Be easy. Let me ask you this real quick, Puerto Rican freak. Do you think it's funny how you hear TD Sports going on and on defending Ryan and Matias, who Ryan said he's anti-black?
I didn't defend Ryan. Come on.
Yes, you did. You did. No, you just said Ryan.
He said how people was outraged about Ryan getting out of the sport. And they was outraged about Matias getting out of the sport, but they wasn't outraged about getting Jaime Munguia and Alicia Bumgarner out of the sport. That's what he said.
I see y'all got selective hearing. Man.
Those fighters was going against certain fighters that people rooted for at the time. They was about to fight certain fighters that they root for. So he was talking about how when these fighters pop dirty and they about to fight somebody that they root for, they want them out of the sport. But when it's somebody else and they pop dirty, they don't have the same energy for those fighters as they have for other fighters.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a quick question, D Freak? Let me ask you a question, man.
You should ask yourself who taught you to hate being what God gave you.
I don't know if y'all hate black people or what, but come on, y'all seen Devin Haney get cheated.
Can I ask a question? I just heard the brother's very eloquent piece that he just said about the Austrian. I'm cool with it. I have no issue with that. But I'm asking the panel in total. If we know Mike Tyson was a big dude and a super big puncher, do we agree on that?
Yeah.
Yes.
And we just heard my good brother say that the legal Osterine point is, you said 0.01. Would people have not had a mega outrage if Mike Tyson would have had 0.1 when he was in his prime of Osterine?
Man, they be coming up with buildings.
Okay, that's on Osterine.
I don't think they would.
No, I think you're gonna have select. It's gonna be the same. You're gonna have like be outraged, and you're gonna have people do diligent research.
The way Mike Tyson was demolishing motherfuckers in his day, do you think that they would have let 0.01 be okay? The way he was destroying dudes.
I don't think it would have been an outrage the way it is now because one, back when Mike Tyson was fighting, the social media wasn't big like that, so people didn't know about it. It's only blown up now because we have social media. People are able to get information that they wasn't privileged to get back when Mike Tyson was fighting. So if Mike Tyson would have popped dirty, the same way Evander Holyfield popped dirty, he was knocking people out. The same way Roy Jones popped dirty, he was knocking people out. That pretty much was swept under the rug because you heard about it, but nobody said anything. They wasn't outraged about getting Roy Jones out of the sport or getting Evander Holyfield out of the sport. Both of those guys were knockout artists.
And they still talk about those fighters today. James Toney popped multiple times. The fight against Ruiz got put to a no contest because he popped dirty. But people still talk about James Toney being, an all-time great. Heck, I consider him an all-time great. But I'm just saying it's selective, And then
Mike Tyson was so liked, I don't think people would have been outraged. I think you would have a select people that might have been outraged, but I think the vast majority wouldn't care because they wanted to see knockouts. I don't think they would care. Mike Tyson was loved. Mike Tyson was a superstar. So I don't think a lot of people would have cared about Mike Tyson being popped dirty at 0.1 or whatever Matias was. I don't think they would have been tripping like that. To be honest with you, I really don't think they'd be tripping like that.
I think you got to.
Let me say this one thing, CD. Let me say this one.
What it does and why the levels are for what they have. Like when Ryan popped, he was 60 times over the limit. When Matias popped, he was 0.085, which was like pretty much like 10 times under, right? So you have to look at why they have that rule, because obviously that was one of my first questions. First of all, how to get in your system and why is the rule set to be that way? And then people come back and counter and say, oh, he was microdosing. Well, the testing would pick up microdosing because it would show in each of the tests. Because if it didn't, then we have to question VADA. Is VADA doing what they're supposed to be doing? Is that really, the drug testing system that we want going forward that everybody's praising now? You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of intangibles that go with it, and that's what I'm saying. Like each case is different, each drug test is different, and that's why I say tell people you got to do the research first. But what I'm saying is, as far as the selective criticism, is that I bring Alicia Baumgartner into it because she just fought a few weeks ago, and the outrage of people saying get him the sport and that he's dirty is dirty. It wasn't the same for Alicia, and she just fought, and people already have videos on her. If you want these guys out of the sport, then be consistent with it. That's my only issue. Like Paulie's mad consistent with it, right? Because he thinks like he'll go in, even though I think sometimes he's misinformed, but at least he's consistent on anybody that even shows up any traces of anything. So that's all I'm saying.
All I can say is this, Tommy.
What a mess!
I can say, man, what a mess.
You didn't answer my question, by the way.
It just shows how biased you are, man. Because at the end of the day, if a black, was a pop dirty like this, you would not be going this hard. You're only doing that because you're Puerto Rican. That's the only reason why you're doing that.
I'm glad you say that, BBO. I was just about to go there because when it came to Hannah Gabriel, when she was about to fight Clarissa Shields, and she popped dirty, everybody was like, "Oh no, she dirty. She can't be getting in the ring with Clarissa Shields." But Alicia Baumgartner, they were like, "Oh, well, they came up with every excuse. Why the doctor did? Why they didn't do this? Why they didn't do that?" It was every excuse for Alicia, but Hannah Gabriel, it was automatic. She's a dirty fighter, but she had a legitimate reason why she popped dirty, and they cleared her. And we
heard that because she said her dog ate the homework or something.
But hold up, they cleared her, and nobody ever spoke about that she was cleared. They cleared her. Nobody ever spoke that she was cleared.
You got to be kidding me, man. You got to be kidding me.
You are the most.
Hold on. The body does not produce ostarine. They caught him when he was cycling it off. Coach, let me ask you a question.
It's impossible to cycle off and still be in your system. It still not be in your system. It's impossible. It stays in your system over 20 days, bro.
Coach, let me ask you this, man.
That's what I'm saying. You didn't do the research either. You just up here trying to, ruffle some feathers, and you still.
So because I'm giving you my opinion, I'm ruffling feathers.
You ruffling feathers because you didn't answer my question.
What's the question?
My question is Matias black?
Well, we mad because he's speaking English. I would say he's black, but I'm asking you.
I'm done with
we
you.
spoke to the man. I would say he's black, but I would say this. He's Puerto Rican first. He makes it clear that he's Puerto Rican first. I think the bigger part is this. For the first time, my man TD Sports is condoning, I guess, microdosing. I don't know. I don't know the science on this. It's a lot to it. I'm just a humble brother, man. I don't know, man.
If he was microdosing, he would have got caught every single drug test.
I was about to say, Frontline he just asked a simple question. Y'all missed the bigger picture. He was clean before and after. He was clean before that one drug test that popped dirty. He was clean right before that, and he was clean after that. It was that one drug test where he supposedly popped dirty.
Hi.
How was that possible? He was clean before.
This dude, hold on,
you clean directly after. He was clean.
But you see, Rodman is defending a drug cheat. You don't understand how this is cool.
BBO. You know, when you take a drug test, when you do a Nevada drug test, they do 2 samples, and they both from the same urine. All they do is pour it in one vial, and then they pour it in another vial. It's the same urine. They just pour it in 2 separate vials. He was clean before, and he was clean after. That one test, he was dirty. The one,
so the sample got contaminated.
In between those 2 clean ones, he was dirty. How was it possible that he was cheating? How was it possible he was clean before and he was clean after, but he was just dirty for that one that they took? It wasn't like it was a big spirit, a big time frame in between those 3 blood tests.
And for the record,
Thank God Almighty.
If he was microdosing, for the record, if he was microdosing and he tested positive less than whatever the 0.1, and then he tested the next test and it was under 0.1, he would be that would be microdosing because it would show up again. It would the point of data is to catch people from microdosing as well. This is what Ryan was doing because Ryan popped for Austrian, but he also popped for something else, and that kind of got swept underneath the rug. You know what I'm saying? But he popped clean. He was clean. The test was negative. Blood and urine on November 2nd. And then November 9th, only urine test positive. And then after that, November 21st or 22nd, negative. There's no microdosing. It would have caught it all 3 of those dates, not just one.
I just think it's funny, man.
It's amazing to me that people that fail science class know how to figure out all this shit.
I had to look this up for myself. I had to review myself. It is still big words in it I can't even pronounce, bro.
Hey man, what a mess, man.
all I'm saying is when we look at it, you do have some people in the sport that does cheat. Not saying that there is not any cheaters in the sport, but we do have some people that what we call is a faulty drug test.
Hey, Cameron, I gotta see you before you pop up.
They have a faulty drug test. We have that in law enforcement. Law enforcement had officers who had a faulty drug test. That's why they go back and get tested again. Because if it's something in your system, they're gonna find it. If you had it in your system, they're gonna find it.
See, this is the thing about it. Something my man Frontline pulling up. That's the thing about it. You got a brother who got a big voice like my man TD Sports going to bat for a cheater. And it's like at the end of the day, the body doesn't make Ostarine. What are we even talking about? You know the body don't make Ostarine.
And that's why
the points that I brought up.
That's why they got things called.
Wait a second. Let me get this right. The body don't make Ostarine, right? Yo, shout out to the panel. Shout out to the chat. Anyways, what's frustrating is, again,
before and after the quote unquote positive test, everyone is still stuck on the positive result. 0.085. On another show, Rachel Donaire came on the panel and she made it clear that the A sample coming out at 0.086 should have never been publicized because under the threshold. That's number one. Number two, the B sample should have never been tested because, again, it was under the threshold. So since it's under the threshold, what's the big deal if it would never been reported? It's simple. It's Turkey, Eddie Hearn, and Matchroom. They're all butthurt because they lost a purse bid to a small Puerto Rican promotional company.
So let me set the stage for this front line. You're a Puerto Rican, right?
100%.
Okay, so that's why you're saying that. Go ahead.
No, but
ain't you Mexican though?
The facts are the facts though.
And Mexicans are the number one cheaters. Where we going with it?
BBO, if you played in the NFL and they said your limit cannot be above this, and anything that's below that, you're good. If you test below that and they say, hold up, you pop dirty, the first thing you want to say is, no, I didn't. I'm below the limit. No, I didn't pop dirty. I'm below the limit. So if he's below the limit, he didn't pop dirty. He's below the limit. It's only you popping dirty when you're above the limit.
And I respect that. Can I ask you one question, D-Free? Can I ask you one question?
What, BBO?
You're Puerto Rican as well, right?
I'm black.
So
I'm black.
Moving on to the next thing. Let me ask you guys this. When we see this,
hold on. You didn't answer my question. You want to ask a bunch of questions about what color somebody is. Answer the question.
What's your question?
If you tested below the limit and they said you popped dirty, what are you going to say?
I'm gonna probably tell the players in it that I didn't test that way. I would get a review of the test, and we would see if I really was at, like you said, above the legal limit or not.
No. I said you tested below the limit, but they said you popped dirty.
Well, if you test below the limit, I will file a grievance because they shouldn't be publicized.
Oh, that's what we're saying. He tested below the limit.
But we seen him unalive a guy. I think that's the only reason why we worried about it. But I feel what y'all saying. I get it.
Is it? Let me just ask you a question. If you take something that the body does not produce naturally, if you take it and you're below the legal limit, did you still cheat?
No, I didn't. I didn't know. I didn't.
No. In the sense, let me ask you, in the sense of if you take a drug test and they say 0.10 is anything above that, you are a cocaine user. If a person knows that the body does not produce cocaine, and a person is 0.09, did he go below the limit? Yes, but is he a user?
No, because I'm gonna tell you why. No, because you could have took something else that might have had that same ingredient in it, but it wasn't the actual drug, but it might have had that drug in it. So, like I said, a supplement might have been contaminated with oxalate. He's not taking oxalate; he's taking another supplement. But that supplement was contaminated with oxalate. So he tested it, and it was below the limit. So he's not taking oxalate. He took something else that was contaminated by oxalate.
Can I say one thing?
They know all the supplements they use and can't. Do we agree that the coaches and the fighters, or at least the coaches and the team, know what supplements they use and can't?
Yes. If
we can agree on that, can they produce the bottle that says one of the ingredients is Ostarine?
Yeah.
They could, and they could. the items that they sealed, and that's what they did. That's another thing in the video. They were able to all the vitamins and supplements that they took to sealed supplements. So the difference between that and what Ryan didn't do that. Ryan didn't provide anything. He kept coming with these other things, the ashwagandha or whatever, and some other stuff.
Ashwagandha and all that.
Sabril and his team provided the supplements. Basically, what they're saying is that there was no intentional doping. That's the key word: intentional and unintentional. And what they proved, there was no intentional doping, because that's why they set the limit, because of possible contamination. Now, contamination can happen through transfer of contaminated surface, the item, the product, etc., or improper handling. Maybe glove changes, samples processed too close together, etc. That's basically how contaminated items can happen. And that's why they set the threshold, because science and what they proved, this is what I had to look up and research. It proved that it does happen, and they set the threshold at 0.1, because under 1, there's no possible benefit you can get from it. And anything above 1, it says that you could get some type of possible benefit off of that, off of Austrian or whatever, and it would stay in your system for more than 21 days. So basically, when he tested negative the week before and tested negative after the fact, it showed that there was no consistent doping. It was only within that period for maybe whatever supplement he took, or maybe the people that took the test did something, kind of crazy. Because like I said, VADA, there's a lot of other things with VADA that kind of suspicious too. And we kind of revealed that with the Hannah Gabriel situation, and I'm not trying to say that they did it on purpose, but for the news to come out the way it did. And by the way, a former VADA official now works, a former Ring official now works with VADA, and they were able to get that data. And Mike Coppinger was the first one to release it. Nobody else released it until after Mike Coppinger released it. It's just all suspicious to me. You understand what I'm saying? And yeah, the obvious question is what Coach is saying is, how did it get in your system? Because it doesn't produce that. And what they're saying is, based off the science and based off the research, is that they set the threshold because it's a possible chance that something was contaminated because of those reasons I just mentioned a little while ago. So,
boy, if I would have had all y'all as my legal team, I wouldn't have did it.
All I'm saying is he did everything to prove that he had no reason to be juicing or dosing or anything like that. Well, with the Ryan situation, Ryan didn't do everything he needed to do, but Matias did. He did everything. He gave them every supplement that he was taking. He was willing to take more drug tests. He did everything to prove I'm not out here taking this drug that y'all found in my system. It had to be something else. So that's why I'm saying I don't believe that he was actually out here cheating. I believe Ryan did something. I don't believe Matias did.
I mean, I don't want but my thing is that anybody is entitled to their opinion. And Coach, I feel you, and I agree with you too in a sense as well. Like, how did it get in there? My problem with the whole scenario and the whole situation is the consistency of the outrage within fighters. Like, if the stance is that it's in his body, it's his responsibility for what he's taking, then you know what? You're right. I agree with that. Right. And then get them out the sport. Fine. But we have to hold the other fighters that tested positive and prove their innocence the same light. Because how did it get in their system? But they were able to prove that there was some sort of contamination as well. And that's why I brought up Jaime Maguia, Alicia Baumgartner, and there's other fighters as well. That's my main concern more than anything. But yeah, I respect everything you're saying. Like, how did it get there? And you know what? They got to be held responsible. And he's on probation. And I think they're going to change that. I think that's a New York State athletic thing, but the WBC is going to change that rule as far as defending, their titles. They're not going to let that rock any longer. So if you mess up, you mess up.
I think they should get some immediate matches. When these champions get caught, I don't think they should be thrown out the sport. But I do think that should be considered a no contest. And before that champion can fight somebody else, he has to give that guy an immediate rematch. And he must test on some significant level of period during that camp.
Yeah.
During that following camp. because you punishing him don't give that guy his opportunity to get a world title again.
Yeah, right. I just believe it should be across the board. The problem is it's not consistent across the board from the testing and from the fan base. It's not consistent across the board. If it's somebody that you like, oh, give him a second chance, or retest them, or it was something else that caused him to test positive. But when it's somebody you don't like, is throw the book at him. So it's no consistency.
Well, you know, fans are fanatics anyway. You know, so that ain't gonna change. We ain't gonna never be able to do the mind of fanatics. But the rule process should at least give that guy who was the challenger an opportunity to fight again, that same champion that you don't strip for that title. And if you do strip him, one of the two parties that fight for the title next must be the guy that was wrong, because you got to fix it for that person.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
You know, it's funny. At the end of the day, he's on probation, right? And he tested negative the test before, and he's been testing negative ever since. So there's no what's the word? There's no positive test. There's no advantage that he has going into this fight, and he's going to continue to be tested, you know, up until the fight, which is the fight is next Saturday, and then even they're going to test him the day of the fight for, you know, after the fight. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and we'll see. You know what I'm saying? But he's not tested positive since that test and before it. So it's a weird situation, and I understand what everybody's saying. How did it get there? But there's no possible advantage to what he got based off of what they prove as contaminated substance.
I gotta give you credit, CD, for a brother who had a D in science. Now all of a sudden, this nigga want to tell me about serene, how many microdose. Get out of here, nigga.
My whole question is, if it stays in your system for 21 days, how was it not in his system before the test, and how was it not in his system after the test? Because there's not a span of an absence of 21 days from testing. Like when they tested positive, within that 21 days, he was tested again, and it wasn't in his system. So that's the only question that I had. If he did pop dirty for ostarine, or it showed up in his system for ostarine, and it stays in your system for 21 days, how was it not in your system after that day, after that test that you tested positive? Because the next test wasn't past 21 days. It was within the 21 days.
Let me say this real quick, man. I want to wish a happy birthday, man, to one of the greatest to ever do it. We've seen Oscar De La Hoya beat him dead, but shout out to Pernell Whitaker, man. Today would have been his birthday. You know, American champion, man. I just want to wish Pernell Whitaker a happy birthday, man.
My favorite fighter of all time.
I want to make sure I did that.
Guess what?
I gotta say one thing. You cannot use that term against Pernell Whitaker, being though he's no longer here. You cannot say that for Pernell Whitaker, being though he's no longer here.
Oscar De La Hoya.
Say it again.
I don't know how you say Oscar did that. That's cold-blooded blasphemy.
But he's talking about us. He's talking about us being biased towards the Puerto Ricans.
Well, we all know BVO don't like black people.
He don't, and he gets at me with the Puerto Ricans. It's crazy, right?
And so let me ask, what's wrong with the blacks?
Pernell Whitaker is my favorite fighter of all time, and he's not Puerto Rican, BVO. I just want you to know that.
BVO's favorite fighter of all time is John L. Sullivan.
You tell me you were 2% black or something, Tommy?
What?
Tommy, did you hear the live that Jaleel went off on BVO?
Yeah, I was there. I was in the chat.
Oh my God, that joke was hilarious.
Don't make me call him downstairs. Don't make me call him downstairs.
This is a sick Negro.
Yeah, salute to Jaleel. Yeah, he came up and spread some propaganda about the black man sent by God. But, you know, I can't hate what I create, man. You know, I'm an Asiatic black man, so I can't hate what I create. But I'll say this. The thing that's so funny is when you think about this whole boxing game, we just had a couple Puerto Ricans come up here and defend a dude who got Ostarine in the system. But you know, it is what it is, man. I respect it, but it's okay when Devin Haney gets cheated by a dude with Ostarine and all that.
Hey,
But if y'all like him, it's all right.
let Tio had 0.8 in his system and watch BBO jump through hurdles talking about that man wasn't dirty.
He was a clean fighter. We never even heard about him remotely doing that.
But like I said, let him have 0.8 and they say he was dirty. You gonna jump
Y'all got to excuse BBO. He got reverse vitiligo.
Get out of there.
Wow, he said
BBO, man, you're
reverse.
a funny guy, man. I like that. Was you got me with that. I got a D in science. That was good, man.
No, I'm just saying. I just can't believe a nigga who can barely read and write is gonna try to tell me about science. But I respect it though.
You know, my daughter's here next to me listening to you, and you disrespecting her father like that. That's my.
Hey, man, shout out to my niece. All I say is this: TD the type of dude you send him to the store, he forget the chips. That's the type of dude TD is, man.
I know why. I know why. I know why he's going at Matias like this. Because Matias is the same dude that slapped Tio and knocked him glasses off his face.
Hey, Brother Bernard, let me say that Matias slapped Tio.
Man, you only say that shit in the company of no one. I think you was in the bathroom when you told me that shit.
You slapped him. That's what happened.
Hey guys, I gotta get off. But I appreciate you guys having this. Was good boxing talk. You guys press the like button, please. Subscribe to my man BVO, and make sure you become a member of the channel, guys. You guys watching the chat. This is good boxing talk. Even though BVO be clowning, making me look bad out here, making me look like I got a D in science. BVO's a good dude, and this is a good channel, bro. So I appreciate you guys having me. You guys have a great night. Happy New Year to everybody. God bless.
Shout out to TD. I know it's Miller time, so TD got to get to his Miller, man. But salute to TD, man. I'll say this, man. One thing that's fun about boxing, man, is we getting to see some of the best guys fight the best guys. But let me ask you guys this: why have we not heard what Abdullah Mason will do next? Do you think Abdullah Mason will unify at 135, or do you think he'll go to 140? What do you guys think about Abdullah Mason's next step?
Because they don't know if they're gonna be fighting on Nickelodeon or Telemundo. Shit, they ain't got no idea.
I mean, outside of the whole situation with Keyshawn Davis losing his belt, we never knew what Abdullah Mason was going to do next. We were just awarded the fight that he was having. So we don't know what Abdullah Mason was going to do because we never did. It was only the Sam Note because that belt became vacant and they needed another champion. So we knew that Abdullah was the number one and we knew Sam Note was number two. So we knew they were going to end up fighting for that vacant belt. But prior to that, we never knew what Abdullah was going to do. We just found out when it was time for him to fight that this is the next opponent that he's going to have. Now he's in position as a champion where we know it's going to be one or two things. Either he's going to fight a number one contender or somebody along that line as far as the top 5 or top 10, or he's going to unify. We know it's going to be one of those guys. It's going to be either a unification or it's going to be somebody in the top 10. We know that now. We just got to figure out right now, outside of Richardson Hitchens, outside of Tank Davis and Shakur, actually everybody's tied up. Tank Davis, we don't know what he's going to do. Shakur's about to fight Tio, and Raymond Muratalla and Andy Cruz is about to fight. So we don't know if he's going to unify. All of the champions are tied up right now, except for Tank, and we don't know what Tank is going to do.
So let me ask you this: speaking about Pernell Whitaker, and today being his birthday, what would you say? What is his legacy in boxing, in your opinion, Free and Coach? What would y'all say about the great Pernell Whitaker?
The probably one of the hardest guys to land a clean shot on. He's probably one of the hardest guys to land a clean shot on. Pernell Whitaker was one of the reasons why people came up with the term of a slick black fighter. Purnell was about he was slicker than water.
Oil,
He was
yeah.
slicker than oil. He was slicker than ice on the sidewalk. That Purnell was a slick dude. It was hard to land a clean shot on Purnell, and he could be sitting right in your face, and you couldn't land a clean shot on. We saw that. You saw the fight with Oscar De La Hoya threw about 17 punches, and Purnell was just weaving everything. And daggone Oscar De La Hoya had to take a step back and take a deep breath. He was like, man, I can't hit this dude. What is wrong with him? So, I mean, Purnell was probably the slickest fighter I've seen in my lifetime. He's probably the slickest fighter I've seen in my lifetime. I mean, there was a lot of slick guys, but I don't think nobody was as slick as Purnell Whitaker.
What would you say, Coach?
I think his legacy will be that he was a guy who was not known for being the biggest puncher, the biggest athletic guy, but he was one of the few guys that learned how to beat people with an IQ. I think he'll universally be respected as the first man to ever beat Julio Cesar Chavez, especially when Sports Illustrated put Robbed on the cover of Sports Illustrated. He was special, and we don't have a lot of special guys, but when it comes to what he was able to do, I will honestly say I compare him to the modern day Floyd Mayweather, because neither one of them was the most athletic. Neither one of them was the world's biggest puncher. But when it came to their IQ about the game, they could outthink everybody else. And they made you remember it was the sport where the object was to hit and not get hit, but don't be perceived as a person who was running.
I think Purnell Whitaker might be the only man that I know in boxing history that nobody's going to ever be able to imitate. Like people can imitate Floyd, people can imitate Sugar Ray, people can imitate Roy, people can imitate Muhammad Ali. I don't think anybody would ever be able to imitate Sweet Pea. The things that
You
he
don't
was
think
able to do.
Floyd Jordan did a good job of imitating?
No, no, I don't think anybody will be able to imitate Sweet Pea. I don't
I
think
see a lot
anybody.
of similarities in Floyd with Purnell. I mean, a lot. And you know,
Floyd,
Floyd is a
Floyd did a
monster
lot of
too.
Floyd did a lot of shoulder rolls. Sweet Pea did a lot of upper body movement, and footwork, and moving his head off the line. Floyd do more so shoulder roll and just get out of the range of your punches. Sweet Pea was able to maneuver around your punches while you throwing punches. He was just able to maneuver around. The closest person I seen to
I'm
Floyd,
not talking about old Floyd. I'm talking about Floyd at 26 or 30.
no, the closest person I seen to Sweepy, and it was a bad version, but the closest person I seen to Sweepy was the Drunken Master, and he wasn't even as good.
Don't do that. Please don't. Please do not desecrate the greatness.
No, I'm saying, no. The Drunken Master was a guy that when he got in his moment. I said it was a bad version. It was a bad version.
We not even call it a bad version. It was a below average fighter. I will be the honest guy and say what people don't want to say. He was a below average fighter that had a
Emmanuel Augustus.
He had Emmanuel Augustus was a below average fighter who had a weird style, almost like a glitch in a computer, that made it difficult for certain fighters. And we're only going to say he had a very tough fight against Floyd, which he still lost. But in no way, shape, or form should we ever put a man who had that mediocre of a career in the same sentence as the great Purnell Sweet Pea Whitaker.
Oh no, I ain't saying he was with him. It's like Pernell. I was talking about the closest that I ever see anybody come to Sweet Pea. And this is why I said Sweet Pea is somebody that nobody would ever be able to imitate. And that's why I said Emmanuel Augustus is the closest that I've ever seen anybody come to Sweet Pea. And it was a bad version of Sweet Pea. It was a version of Sweet Pea at maybe 65 years old. That was the closest that I've ever seen anybody come to. Like Sweet Pea was a different type of fighter. Like I've never seen anybody stand right in front of you and you not be able to hit him, and he don't throw any punches. He can stand in front of you and you won't be able to hit him, and he's not throwing nothing back. He's just making you look stupid.
And I agree with you 100%. But Emmanuel Augustus, I don't say that. He stood in front of you and did clown movement, falling backwards, doing all that. That Pernell Whitaker never came out of his position to be able to answer with boxing. Pernell Whitaker was always in control of his own field. I seen Emmanuel Augustus do that craziness and fall over. What count as he fell over? I just can't. I can't. Yeah, I just that same token. That light heavyweight boy that they just signed, Ben Whitaker.
Yup, exactly. I was about to say that.
Hold on. You gotta wait till Coach gets done talking.
I was just about to say, Ben Whitaker fights just like Emmanuel Augustus. That's why I think he's going to end up getting knocked out when he get in there with somebody with a pulse. Because
you just said Ben Whitaker.
Man, Ben Whitaker gonna get put to sleep soon as he fight.
Stop, man. Ben Whitaker is the best.
Soon as they start giving them cab drivers, giving them bike messengers and all that shit,
he beating the life out of niggas. What is he talking about, Coach? Have you seen him?
Who out of cab?
Me and Coach both was thinking the same thing when I said the person that fights like Emmanuel Augustus. Before I can even say the name, Coach said it. He was thinking the same exact thing I was thinking. Ben Whitaker fights like Emmanuel Augustus.
That's pure hate, man. You talking about baby Roy Jones Jr.? Get out of here, man. What are y'all talking about? This is the reincarnation of Roy Jones Jr. Y'all talking about? Come on, man. What my man wants to say? Come on, man.
Pimp slap you. Roy ought to pimp slap you.
Roy Jones never did the stuff that Ben Whitaker does. He never did the stuff that Ben Whitaker
I'm talking about the speed. I'm talking about the punching power.
No,
remember he used to do the chicken dance. Salute to my brother Bentley on that two-piece. Appreciate you, man.
I'm gonna tell you the same thing that you told me when I said Jerome Booson is about the closest thing I've seen to Roy Jones. Nigga, stop tripping. You told me. I'm telling you, nigga, stop tripping.
I did say that. Salute to Free in that elephant memory. That brother don't forget nothing, man. Coach, I'm shocked you would say that. Y'all might have to see him one day. That's crazy.
If they did, they may never be in the same way because maybe if you put him with that buffoonery in front of Jalil will knock him out. Will knock him out. If you put that same buffoonery in sparring, he will knock him out. I think he makes a mockery of the sport. With that clownness, it's a mockery. It's a disrespect to the sport. It's not showmanship, it's clownery. And if he gets in front of a quality person and doesn't do it, then he even knows it's clowning. Do not do it against lesser if you won't do it against greater. When we saw Roy Jones clown, it was against the best people in the world. When we see him do it, it's against cab drivers and bike messengers. Don't make a mockery of a sport that you claim to love and respect, because that's all he did was made a mockery of it.
Hey, Coach, I usually won't say this, but damn, that's harsh, man.
I'm gonna tell you like this. I bet you he won't do that in front of daggone David Benavidez.
No. I wouldn't think he should. He shouldn't do that in front of Davis.
That's what we're talking about. Roy Jones. It didn't matter who you was. He was doing it in front of you. He clowned James Toney. He clowned Bernard Hopkins. He clowned John Louise. It didn't matter who he was in front of. He was clowning you.
Also, because Roy did it to everybody, it's okay.
Yes, because
go ahead, Coach.
100% okay, especially when right after he clowned you, he usually knocks you out. So yeah, that makes it kind of okay. when he hit my brother with the sweep to the ribs and broke his ribs, right before that he clowned him.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so we not.
What's the guy named Jackson when he put his hands behind his back like he was doing with the chicken, and then he hit Jackson with that the right across the temple, put him to sleep.
Yeah, he knocked Jackson smooth out with that. I see what y'all saying. So because Roy did it against the best, it's cool. But usually nobody's good enough to do that, to be honest with you, man. If we being real, most niggas ain't good enough to clown when they fighting the best. I mean, to do what he did versus James Toney, I don't think a man on the planet would have did that because James was a monster at 68. He went up and did that.
So don't let a clown do it.
I'm gonna tell you something, video that you probably don't know. If you watch the Andre Ward interview with Roy Jones, he said the reason he was able to do that is because James Toney kept copying him.
Yeah. Yep.
And he said, okay. He said, I got something for you. He put his hands out, and as soon as James Toney put his hands out, he caught him. He was like, I got him. So he saw that James Toney was copying everything that he did.
Salute Showtime. Yeah, I remember seeing that interview, and the thing that got me with that was James, like you said, Roy couldn't believe he was copying him. And the thing that was so crazy, when he did the thing with his arms, Roy kind of cheated to me when he hit him with that hook, man. That was dirty. He hit that with that hook, and it was over, man. But I ask you guys this, man, before we get out of here. So you really would say that it's a mockery to the sport, though, Coach? As good as Whitaker looks.
Why do you say he looks good? Tell me one thing you say he looks good with against a quality opponent. Because he hasn't fought a quality opponent yet.
No, he hasn't. No, I give you that. He hasn't fought a quality opponent.
So if that's the case, he's making a mockery of the sport. If he can consistently do that against the best guys, I'll change my opinion and say, hey, he can do it against anybody. But when you know that you got cab drivers in front of you, the most respectful thing you can do to a cab driver, because he's giving you the best version of him, just knock him out. You didn't see Roy clown a bunch of the cab drivers.
No, right.
Yeah, he's the most respectful thing I can do to a guy who is giving me the best he has in this below average is knock him out. Don't keep him around for rounds, making him look like a clown. Because he's giving you his best. Respect him like another pugilist. Now, when you get to the upper echelon, and their best is the same as your best, and you can get those clown moments in there, go ahead. But don't do it to a guy who it's like bringing motherfucking Brett Saberhagen to a little league baseball practice, and he's throwing 100-mile-an-hour fastballs and then making funny gestures against kids who are 10 years old. You would think he was a jerk.
Yeah.
Same thing he doing. That shit Ben Whitaker doing that's jerk shit. And I'm glad any fighter gets the opportunity to do anything they want to do. Matchroom seem to like that jerk shit. They signed him. Now let's see you put that jerk shit to work. Now let's see Matchroom put his ass in front of quality competition, and let's see that jerk shit.
Well, he was asked to fight what's the guy's name? Oh, just that's the one that David Benavidez beat up, Anthony Yard, and he turned that fight down. So I don't know where Ben's at in his career, but I never thought of it like that. I thought he was just putting on the show, but dang, I guess that is true because them dudes he be fighting don't have a chance. Like he did it when he knocked out this one guy. That guy didn't have a chance. Remember, Free? that, dude- that dude, that dude had no shots, man. I don't know. Is that how they build these guys up? Is fighting these guys with no shot? Is that the normal way to build them up?
No, that's not the normal way.
Get over with it. Shit, top rank been making it a lifestyle. They just do it with better records, but they still doing it with bike messengers. They just got better records. It's a lifestyle. But once again, at least they ask you to give it some professionalism. At least top rank guys know better. Give it some professionalism. Don't let the world know you in front of a F-rated fighter. When you do that shit, you don't make yourself look better. You make it look like, yeah, this a dude they building up. They building him up because you're doing it against F-rated competition. And it's not me being disrespectful to those guys because they're giving you the best that they have. If my
So
son
Jaleel never clowned?
hell no, he put that foot on the gas pedal. When you're not of that class and it's early in your career, you should be showing people that I am a step or a class above you, not that I'm classless. That's what that shows. You put somebody in front of Jaleel, and he's a subpar guy, but he's giving you his best.
Yeah.
I would get on Jaleel's ass if he came back to the corner clowning. Nah, champ, respect that man. Respect that man. This may be the biggest opportunity he have in his life. Respect him. Because best believe it's gonna come a day when the shoe could be on the other foot.
Yeah. I'll say this, man. I ain't gonna lie, Coach. You messed up my whole moment with that, bro. I never thought about that. It is kind of corny to do that. I never thought of that. I hate when you do that stuff, Coach. You rough, dog. Hey, cause I ain't gonna lie, Free. Them dudes be having no shot that being there with Ben when you think about it. You go. You done messed up my whole thought on that, man.
But then you be the one talking about, man, he beat him dead. Who did he beat? He hit a cab driver who was trying to get to a fair. He hit a bike messenger who was trying to get to a delivery. And you talking about he beat him dead? He should for beating him dead. His competition level been one step above cutoff jeans.
You know what? The reason I'm laughing is because the Puerto Rican Prince D. Free has been saying this for months. I'm gonna give you credit for you have been saying that for months that he ain't been fighting nobody.
That's because Free watch boxing. You just read the story somebody else wrote.
But let me ask you guys this before we get out of here. What do you guys think about Nick Ball? I got the DAZN channel now, and I've been watching some of these fights. And Nick Ball, to me, he looked okay, but I don't really think Nick Ball is as good as people say. What would you say to that, Freak, about Nick Ball?
I don't. I told you, Nick Ball. He's Nick Ball is a guy who can. I can't even say he can box. He can fight. Nick Ball can fight. Um,
Yeah.
I think he's too small for 130. I think when he get in there with guys like um, Oshaki Foster, I think he'll get beat up badly. If he get in there with guys like um, what's my guy Gary Russell, I think he'll get outclassed. He get in there with anybody that's on that top level. I think Nick Ball gets beat up. I think if Raymond Ford rematches him, I think Raymond Ford wins the second time around. I think Raymond Ford, the moment was just a little bit too big for Raymond Ford at that time. and he let it get away from him. Raymond Ford fought well in that fight, but he just let Nick Ball outwork him. Raymond Ford had moments in that fight. He just let him outwork him. I think if Raymond Ford was to fight him again, I think Raymond Ford probably beat him up badly, maybe even stop him. Raymond Ford is a decent puncher. He might even stop him because Nick Ball is not a big puncher. It's not a lot that you got to worry about. He outworked Raymond Ford. So I'm not real high on Nick Ball. I think he's a good fighter, but as a boxer, especially at 130 pounds, I don't think he's going to go too much further than where he's at right now. I think he's going to probably defend his title or try to defend his title, and he might be successful one time, maybe two, and then once he get in there with one of those other champions, I think he's going to get beat.
What about him and Brandon? You think him and Brandon would be a good fight, Brandon Figueroa?
I think Brandon Figueroa has the capabilities of being able to beat him because Brandon Figueroa likes to fight on the inside. He doesn't have to worry about Nick Ball's power. He doesn't really have to worry about Nick Ball moving around the ring. Nick Ball is going to be right there to be hit, and Nick Ball likes to fight on the inside as well. Nick Ball can move around the ring, but he likes to fight on the inside because he's so small. Nick Ball is not a tall individual. I think he's like 5'4", 5'5". And so you got Brandon Figueroa, who's like 5'9", 5'8", somewhere around there, maybe 5'10". So he's going to want to have to fight on the inside, which that's what Brandon Figueroa likes to do, fight on the inside. Brandon, if you can fight Brandon Figueroa at a distance, you have the advantage over Brandon Figueroa. But being though that Nick Ball is a smaller fighter, the only advantage he has is by getting to the inside, which is not an advantage because that's what Brandon Figueroa likes to fight at.
Yeah, I don't think. I'll be honest with you, man. I don't think he'll beat Brandon because I watched. And you know what's so funny? For you? I've been watching these fights over. Some of these guys that we've been watching are garbage. Like when I say garbage, I mean they not fundamentally sound. And all I've seen Nick Ball do is like London throwing his body at people, man. He not he not gonna beat nobody that's good because he just seemed like he is a workhorse. But if you get in there, like you said, with a good fighter, that won't work.
Man, I love the Italian style. I love Rocky Balboa. I love the Italian style. He got a lot of heart. And sometimes in the pro boxing game, heart will beat a lot of people. Heart will beat a lot of people. And like I said, BVO like the slick black fighter. Nick Ball showed you he could beat a slick black fighter by just out hustling him.
Yeah.
I think if he went down a weight class, he would have a better shot.
At 26?
Yeah, I think because it gets close to the competitive form. Like my man was saying. If you got taller, longer, more experienced class A boxers, all they're gonna do is keep his ass on the outside. They'll keep his ass on the outside and box. By the time he get to you with his 3-point stance or do his cross body block like he wrestling, they just gonna tie him up. They just gonna tie him up and let the referee do his job. You seen the great boxers. They understand that the referee is not here as the closest spectator. He's here to do a job. They make him do his job. And but as far as Nick Ball, I like him. He's the poor man's Rocky. He's the poor man's Rocky.
He be getting beat up though, Free and Coach. That's the part I don't understand. He be in there getting beat up.
I said he was the poor man's Rocky. Every time Rocky won, it was with a closed eye, a cleft lip, and a busted eyebrow.
Yeah. I like I like Rock'em Sock'em, so to speak, as y'all call it. But what Nick Ball do, that's just straight up fighting, man. he might as well just fight with no gloves, man, because he just going there and fight.
But in the pros, that's a style. In the amateurs, you either a hell of a boxer or you not. But in the pros, if your style is winning, that's a style. Shout out to Saki Obika. One of my favorite fighters was Saki Obika. I probably can't find two more people that say that other than his mama and daddy. But Saki Obika, man, he made shit rough. If you go back and watch when he fought Anthony Durrell the first time,
Yeah.
Anthony Durrell with that slick back boxing that shit couldn't do nothing because that nigga was on your ass like an octopus in the back seat of a '67 Chevy with his favorite girlfriend. Hands everywhere.
So let me ask you this real quick, free and coach. When I seen the George Kambosos versus Richardson Hitchens fight, I wasn't really impressed with Hitchens only because it felt like, and I could be wrong, it looked like Kambosos is done fighting at the top level because he didn't look good at all at that fight at 140. Is Richardson good? Because I wasn't impressed with that knockout with Kambosos. Because Kambosos was like just running right into those punches. What do you guys think about that performance? Is he good or just he fighting the right guys?
He good. Hitchison is good. Whether you like him or dislike him, the boy is a champion. He won his belt on the road. He knocked out a former undisputed guy.
Yeah.
And you know, you can only beat the people that's in front of you. Kambosos was a rated guy. It wasn't like they picked him up off the sofa after 4 years and ain't beat him. I mean, that Kambosos win is better than a lot of current guys that you call champions and some more shit than some of their current wins. So do I think Hitchens? Yeah, I think he has the goods. When he gets to his division, or at some point when he moves up, I don't know. I don't know if he has it against the guys of his own generation. I don't know if he has it against the Antoine Russells. I don't know if he has it against the Teos. I don't know if he has it against those guys, but against the guys that have gotten older and maybe A minus guys, he'll beat them. But the A level and A pluses, they might be just a hair above him and not blowing him out. They're good fights, split decision losses, but I don't see him beating those guys.
I would agree on that because I think Hitchens, man, I don't think he'll beat Gary Russell or, like you said, T. I don't think so. But on that note, man, we're going to get out of here, man. I appreciate everybody coming through. Just wanted to make sure we stopped by. We have been slow. We're going to get back to our regular schedule Monday through Thursday, man. So keep an eye out for me, Free and Coach. And we doing our thing, y'all. We'll see y'all soon. Peace.